Right folks, here we are back in the UK. Grey clouds, it's freezing cold. We're up early this morning, we're still a bit jet lagged, so we were bizarrely tidying out one of the kitchen cupboards, and what we managed to find was a whole load of old, out of date crackers and biscuits and things like that. So what we've got is a bag full of old crackers and biscuits. So we thought, how can we make the most of these in the context of fishing? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to break all these up into basically breadcrumbs. We're going to add some water and we're going to fish over that at the tarn. We're going to go up to the tarn, we're going to take them out in the bait boat, we're going to drop some in, and we're going to fish over the top one of these little white lafters. So one of these DNA baits half-tones. It's something I've wanted to do for quite a while actually, because I think the fish in there see a lot of bread. There's like 1,000,001 ducks in there and people throwing bread in all the time, so I think this is the nearest we're going to get to kind of replicating what they see on a daily basis. So I'm going to give that a whirl tomorrow. We're going to fish for about 24 hours. We're going to completely commit to this approach on at least one of the rods, so we're going to have some fun now breaking all this up. Hod, you going to help me out, buddy? Yeah. Go on then, crush some up. So we're going to crush all this up, we're going to add some water, we're going to turn it into some sort of bread paste, and I'm going to give it a whirl, so let's see what happens. Right folks, good afternoon, I'm back at the tarn. Not quite as windy as last time. Fairly still. We're just up for just under 24 hours. We're fishing peg 38, which is pretty much opposite the little island there. So we're going to try something a little bit different today. So I'm going to fish a solid bag to the right of the island, over here. I'm going to fish one of the spicy fish boilies next to the island here. I've been sticking a few out, and I actually came up yesterday and pre-baited with a few. And then over to the left somewhere out here, we're going to fish with some ground up crackers that I showed you yesterday. So over the top of that we're going to fish this. So we're going to fish a nice white wafter, little hook, just pinned down with some putty, and I'll show you what that looks like in the boat. But just something that I've been wanting to try for a while. Not a lot of bird life on here, lots of bread gets fed, and as a result I think the fish will see bread in one form or another. So I'm going to give that a whirl, let's see what happens. Right folks, we've got two rods out. Just going to mix up our cracker mixture now. So this lot here is all the crackers that we crushed up yesterday. So I've just got a 3-pint bait tub. I'm going to put 2, 3, 4, one for good luck, 5 handfuls in there, and I'm going to put about half a tin of hempen. So we'll give that a bit of a stir, and I'm going to need to add a fair bit of lake water to get it to absorb and actually sink. So I'm using the hemp really as a binder, just to try to keep it all together. So let me get a bit more lake water and we'll keep going. So just added a decent amount of lake water, giving it all a good mix in. I suppose it's like porridgey consistency at the minute. I'm probably going to leave that a good 10 or 15 minutes and let it all soak in, because we don't want any of this floating at the minute. I think if we were to put this into the lake, yeah, you see probably 50% of that sap floating on the surface. So we just want to make sure that that's nicely soaked. Give it 15-20 minutes, let all the big pieces take on the water. Might need to add a little bit more till it's like porridge, and then we'll go out with the bait boat and see what we can catch. Rightio, so we just left it 15 minutes and now it's proper consistency. So this is really kind of gloopy porridgey, and hopefully if we just test a little bit again in the edge. Look. Yeah, beautiful. So pretty much all of that is sinking, so that's ready to go. So we'll get some of that in the boat. I think I'm going to go with about half of that, over the first time we go out. Dump that lot in over our white wafter, which hopefully looks like a piece of bread or a piece of cracker, and hopefully one of the big boys thinks, oh look at that, just a nice safe piece of bread, and then we'll see what happens. So yeah, fingers crossed, let's go. Here we go, HMS Baron is loaded with, like I say, about half of that sloppy mixture. Hookbait's just there with a little PVA nugget on, so we're going to get it out just over to the left hand side of the swim, hopefully away from the boats.
Radio silence.
Okay folks, coming up to 7 o'clock, the weather has changed, look at this. It's blowing a gale, even my cool carp lights are getting boshed around. So, no action yet, not really any liners, but I am fishing with back lead, so not overly surprising. Yeah, just redone the rods, just about to have some food, and hopefully we'll get some action on dusk, if not overnight, fingers crossed. Right gang, fish on. Solid bag rig on the left hand side. I've just rattled off. About 9 PM. Feels like a nice fish. Here we go. Fancied that spot, quite short, about 50 yards, but quite deep, about 5.5 feet at 50 yards. Good fish. Not on the crackers though. How about that for a scaly banger? Fully scaled mirror, absolutely stunning fish.
Radio silence.
Right folks, well 9 o'clock, I was just watching the snooker, falling asleep, it was pretty boring. Left hand rod's just ripped off, which was the solid bag rig. So I'm just going to put this out again, but just to show you what I'm doing here. Just a solid PVA bag full of house pellets, and that's a DNA bug wafter, and that was chucked not very far at all really, about 50 yards. There's a bit that drops off to about 5 feet. Looks a little bit unusual versus the rest of the lake bed, so dropped it on there, and sure enough whipped off with about, I've not weighed it, but it's about 12-13 pounds, fully scaled mirror. Absolutely beautiful fish. So buzzing, because I was not expecting a bite in all this wind. I thought it was all sort of churned up too much, but yeah, awesome. Right folks, a spicy fish rod's off with a wafter on. What a run that was, oh my god, absolutely searing. Just feels like a good fish. This was the right hand rod out towards the island where I've been sticking bait. Been sticking baits out there. Came up yesterday afternoon and sticked about 100 baits out. And I've just put a bait over there today. Carried on going with the throwing stick before the wind got too bad. But yeah, we're away. Excellent.
Radio silence.
Right folks, we're away on the cracker rod, believe it or not. This is on the white wafter over the crackers, so the fish in the tarn are officially crackers. And what a run that was, unbelievable. They're definitely on the feed. We've had 3 now in about an hour and a half. So yeah, they're having a munch.
Radio silence.
Fish on, just after midnight. 4th fish. Left hand rod's gone, which is a solid bag rig. Cracking run. Definitely had the Weetabix this morning of these fish. I've just fired out about 20 of the spicy fish over the right hand rod, and it's gone after about 10 minutes. So straight on that bait, unbelievable. It's been sat out there for 10 or 11 hours. A little refresh, stick like 20 baits over the top, and it's gone more or less straight away. So brilliant. Fish number 5 of the session, and actually really nice to catch a fish during the daylight. Morning. Morning. Another cracking common. Yeah.
Radio silence.
Right folks, it's 9:30. We just had another one. 17 pounds 14 ounces, lovely common. Actually my biggest fish at the Tarn, so absolutely buzzing about that. That was caught over the spicy fish. I just put it out with a throwing stick about 25 baits, and within about 10 minutes that rod was away. So yeah, can't get enough of the spicy fish. So just in terms of the rig that I've been using, really simple. So I suppose a German rig, coated braid, last few inches stripped back, some putty on the hinge there, and then I've just been fishing a trimmed down spicy fish wafter on that rod. And then just a big up to these guys. So I've been using these IB hooks, the wide gape, all through the winter and into the spring, and I've not lost a fish on these yet. They're fantastic. They're hand sharpened, so they're super sharp, but they don't go blunt after one fish like some of the hand sharpened hooks do. So definitely recommend these. Get some of these in your tackle box. Okay, so that's it folks, we're just wrapping up the session here at the Tarn. We've had 5 fish, up to 17-14, so like I say, new record for me for the venue. And we managed to catch one on the cracker rig, which is brilliant. Hudson will be absolutely made up with that. So we had one fish over the cracker, up to that last common. That was the biggest fish that we caught overnight. So don't know if that was any rhyme or reason, doing something a little bit different. Put plenty of that cracker mix out overnight with some hemping, probably fed, guessing maybe 3 kilos of that over one line, and then just fished a little white wafter over the top. So look, next time you're out and about, you've got something to try, give it a go on one of your rods and you never know. But yeah, we've had a great time at the Tarn going crackers. Till next time, tight lines.